So it's not really about Boruto. It's about a Boruto animator. Wait. What's expose everything mean? Okay, let's just read this. So it's not a Boruto dunk on session, which is sad. Really want to see Boruto get reamed because Boruto is trash. However, anime Shohei Ibata, known for his work on major anime series like Boruto, has publicly alleged that his pay was suddenly cut by the production team for the new Netflix anime series Yaiba Samurai Legends. And to be fair, Yaiba at the beginning had like amazing animation and choreography, and it has dropped. I do watch Yaiba, and it has dropped. In a series of social media posts, Ibata vowed to expose everything about it to doesn't mean deter. No, isn't it like aren't they called like Dexter or something? The guys on Twitter, something, whatever. Such incidents from happening. Oh, sorry, I'm being here. Sorry. Ibata vowed to expose everything about it to deter such incidents from happening in the future. Never mind, I'm going crazy here. Ibata first brought the issue to light on July 17th, posting on X, formerly Twitter, about the dispute. My pay has been cut on a one-sided assumption, so I plan to expose everything once this project is finished, partly as a warning to others. Ibata wrote he followed this up with a detailed explanation on the events that led to his pay dispute next day. He claimed a producer, whom he referred to as P. Skompai, decided to cut his pay after becoming suspicious of his work. Really? Suspicious of his work. The producer reasoning for the pay cut was reportedly based on observations of highlight color changes, which led to the conclusion that Ibata was making someone else do the work. I thought it'd be an AI assumption or something. Like, okay, they would assume that maybe Ibata was using AI, even though the company doesn't allow AI to be used in a lot of their productions. But no, they're just assuming that he's doing some trace work or something. Like someone does basic animations and he calls it over. That's really it? Huh? Okay, I mean, all Japanese. Ibata explained that the changes, culturally speaking, I feel like an employer coming to an employee in Japan like that is a bit out of pocket. I'd expect that more, though it's still out of pocket in the West with that level of aggression. But for a Japanese person to do, I feel like that'd be pretty rare. But it's also, I think, pretty rare too for a Japanese animator to really also have the courage to kind of expose everything. Because more often than not, once you have a job in Japan, you're kind of situated in that job for the rest of your life, which I think is the most cases in most countries. But in Japan, it's like particularly so. Like very cushiony jobs, even let's say, well, not cushiony, very in terms of security, like you get it for like a very long time, if not for life. That one job, as far as I understand it, but I could be wrong. Ibata explained that the changes in the highlighted color were a normal part of his creative process. He stated that he used different highlight colors for clarity and adjusting his shading style to add more detail as the work progressed. Despite his explanation and offering to prove in his case, the animator claims the production refused to listen to or investigate. I suggested they could compare my artistic habits to with other episodes, or even trace the IP address from the submitted files to investigate which PC I worked on, but they didn't verify anything, and this was the result, Ibata stated. He was informed that his pay would be cut starting the next month, but he was still expected to complete his work for the current month under the old terms. Yeah, it sounds like, based on what he's saying, that it sounds like they're really just cutting his pay for no fucking reason. They're trying to find a reason because, like, let's say, like, this company, whoever he works for, Netflix anime series. Yeah, I'm assuming that. Okay, yeah, I'm going to assume that they need. Okay, here's my assumption on a few things. Not even red. Yeah, very rare in Japan. Yeah, it's very rare in Japan to do that. But his pay is getting cut. But though I feel like even still, most Japanese folks would just accept that and move on. But nah, Ibata's not doing that. Here's the thing, though. If this is about Yaiba particularly, right? His pay was suddenly cut by the production team for the new Netflix anime series Yaiba Samurai Legend. Here's my guess. Yaiba isn't really doing all that hot. Well, I would say abroad, outside of Japan, Yaiba I don't think is popping at all. I don't see it popping. I don't see folks talk about Yaiba unless the animation scenes are very, very good, and then they compare Yaiba from the 1990 version to this version right now. That's, thank goodness Cole ain't watching New Key. I don't know what that is. Either way, the whole point here is that Yaiba may not be making that much money, that much bread at all, whether it be through merchandise sales, which most of the animes nowadays get their money through. Well, I would say in Japan, most merchandise sales are one of the reasons why you get the animes through, let's say, figurines or through t-shirts, things of that sort, paraphernalia. They got a lot of the money through that kind of stuff. If Yaiba's not doing well in that department, then they probably want to just get Yaiba over with, or let's say they may have to cut, production costs, so they're not in the red with the production overall, which could be the reason why they're trying to do this right now. But how they're doing it is pretty fucking slimy, if that's the case. That's my guess here. The animator was originally supposed to receive a performance-based pay on top of his base fee for the work he did. However, his pay was cut to base fee only by the producer. He described this new arrangement as becoming an all-you-can-work subscription. In subsequent past, Ibata also shared an alleged rumor about the producer in question. Whoa. Ibata also shared an alleged rumor about the producer in question, claiming that the producer was apparently suspended until recently after being reported to the Labor Standards Inspection Office. Oh, there could be some bad blood within the office itself because of what he just did there. Despite the potential for professional repercussions, including losing work, Ibata remained defiant in his stance, stating that he wouldn't give up as there were people who believed in him. Oh, okay. That also adds an element to it, too. Horny Ass Island? Steam? The game? The fuck is she wearing? Okay. Let me just continue. The allegations add to existing reports of a difficult production for Yaiba Samurai Legend. In the past, okay, yeah. So it's difficult because Yaiba's main claim to fame is animation, at least the stylization of it and the choreography of it. At least in the past, I'll say the first two episodes were very, very good in terms of that front. But they've kind of dipped out after or around the Onimaru versus Yaiba fight number 2. So either way, the allegations add to exist reports of a difficulty production of Yaiba Samurai Legend. In a past interview, the show's chief animation director and character designer, Yoshimichi Kameda, had noted that the creative team was forced to produce the remaining number of episodes with the bare minimum. He highlighted the strain of creating new assets for every episode with little opportunity to reuse animation cuts. Oh, okay, that explains a lot about Yaiba right now. If you actually watch Yaiba, you can kind of gauge that things aren't the way they used to be, and now I'm kind of gauging here. Okay, so the creative team was forced to produce the remaining number of episodes with bare minimum. He highlighted the strain of creative. Yeah, you see, this is the reason why, and I know folks don't like it, but remember, I think we've heard before recently, or I think earlier in the year, we heard that both Toei and I think another studio, I forgot which one it was, they're considering, if not onboarding or starting to onboard AI in their creation for animations. And I think part of the reason why is because of this right here, where because anime as a medium is getting so much bigger overseas and abroad, well, that's the same thing actually, I'm being an idiot. But because it's getting so much bigger overseas from Japan, people's demand for it's higher, and so the deadlines are much, much, much sharper. They want quicker, I mean. You have smaller windows of time to get things done, and you have less people to do that very same product. And mind you, the product needs to be higher quality than what, let's say, you could do in the past, because folks expect your quality animation to be at least, I mean, Isekai standard is what, like the average animation that you would get in like 2010, 2011, and that's seen as under par nowadays. You want your animation to be really top notch, and you see it if you watch a lot of anime like I do. You see this happen time and time and time again with so many different shows where you will see in the first half it's actually clean. It's really good. The animation is crisp. The pace is well done. It is a very good product. But then halfway into it, it falls off. And also the animation quality just goes off a cliff. It's nowhere near as good. The Sakuga quality is not there, even though it was there in part one. And this happens so often now in so many shows I watch. They kind of hook you in episodes 1 and 2, and then episode 3 and 4 are relatively okay. But then once you get like halfway in, you get to like episode 6 and 7, it's like, hold on, what's happening? Like, what happened to episodes 1 through 3 and 4, where you guys are, kicking ass? So that's what I think. Nah, yeah, dude, High Card is the biggest example. High Card is the biggest example of a show I've seen as of late, or like in the past few years, where the animation was god tier. These guys were cooking with fish oil, bro. They were cooking with some serious grease. And then all of a sudden the fire just stopped. No more cooking. Not even baking, bro. Not even baking. They're using lighters instead of actual grease. Like it was unbelievable, bro. Uzumaki, yeah. Oh God. So many productions as of late have this issue. It is a very dire issue. Part of the reason why is because a lot of the workforce in Japan are older. One, again, the demand is much greater globally, and they're understaffed as all of that for various reasons as well. So, and of course, the quality demands are very high too, because you're competing with other productions that are very well done, right? And then a lot of times you have to pick and choose which show you're working on, because you can't necessarily afford to have that show really tank or go underwater if you spend so much time working on that show, and then your studio, dude, Fist of the North Star, yeah, listen, man. Oh my God, bro. I can yap it for a while, but basically, it's the reason why people they're gravitating more towards AI. Okay, one last paragraph. The incident involving Ibata wouldn't come as a shock to anime industry observers, as long-standing issues faced by freelance workers who continue the majority of anime workforce. Right, that is true. Most of them are freelance guys. Have been, Eric from the Red Force podcast did a scene for One Piece too. Have been well documented. However, the allegations surface at a time when a new law to protect the rights of freelancers in the anime industry have been passed. This legislative reform was prompted last year, prompted by both international and domestic pressure, including the United Nations Human Rights Council 2024 report. You just can't have these Japanese guys and girls be slaves working away and not even. Oh, if you guys remember what happened to Wonder Egg, which was the show about the girls that could like fight in their dreams, had actually a very good premise. It actually did dive into a lot of these deeper elements when it comes to like adolescence and certain ages, or with a certain demographics. It was actually a very good show. But Wonder Egg had like some really top-notch animation. It was outstanding. And then we find out that the director and the animators, I think it was the director, was working so hard, fucker collapsed, had to go to the hospital because he was spending so much time working, and they were massively understaffed. And then all we get, like a few months later, is some really slapshot, dog shit, cut up sort of special where it just is mostly recap and then a hodgepodge of clips. It was really bad. It was really, 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 really bad. Yeah, bad production schedule, understaffed, all of these things. So, yeah. Oof. I hate to say it, but it's all the reason why AI is knocking on that anime door. In fact, not even knocking, it's banging with both hands and feet. All right, so, but Boruto's fine. No allegation of Boruto. Boruto is clean. Shame. All right, no drama there. Kajime Season 2 is listed for episodes. Okay, that's nice. Bet. Actually, I want to be more, but we'll take it. Spider-Man Beyond Spider-Verse has been delayed to June 25, 2027.